talk with you guys and sharing a little bit what I've learned over the years of me doing this, as well as get some feedback from you guys and, just see how we can help you. And that's really what it really boils down to, in my opinion, is how can I help you guys, right? So, we just finished up and wrapped up the week. This is a rhetorical question, but are you happy? Are you satisfied with the outcome of this week? And I want everybody to take some time real quick to think about your production this week, how much money you made this week, and the amount of activity that you put in this week. The single most important thing is the amount of activity that you're putting in. That's everything. If the activity level, folks, is not there, you hardly have a chance to succeed. I don't care if you're Shingai. If Shingai did 2 presentations this week and worked 2 hours and bought 2 leads, she would have no chance to write $10,000 of production in what she did this week. So it gets to a point where it doesn't make a difference of your skill level. The only thing that matters is the amount of activity that you're putting in every single day. And you can't be disappointed with the results that you didn't get from the work that you didn't do. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to repeat that one more time. You can't get upset or disappointed with the results that you didn't get for the work that you didn't do.
That's good.
Okay. And I think we've all been in that position before, to where we do get upset with where we finished this week. Shingai was the #1 producer in the Frias Insurance Group this week with $10,717. And I'm sure she's not satisfied. I'm sure she wants more. I know she wants that 1 to be a 2, But one thing that I can tell you all about Shingai is she did not get her goal this week, or she was not satisfied with this week, not because of the lack of effort that she put in this week. There's zero excuse for low levels of activity. Now, I know some people sit there, well, there's not enough live transfers. Well, yeah, there is. And if there isn't, and you're not getting any, instead of sitting on the sidelines waiting for the phone to ring, what you need to do is take control of your activity to make sure that you have a chance to reach your goals at the end of the week. So one of the little exercises that I wanted to do today is to ask you all a question, and some of you can answer, just go ahead and shout it out. But who do you want to be in 6 months? Who do you want to be in 6 months? What does your life look like? What is your goal in 6 months from now? What does that look like for you guys? Anybody want to volunteer and talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, I will.
Go ahead.
I want to be at least producing, at the very least, $10,000 every week.
$10,000 every week. Love it.
Yep.
What else?
I also want to be able to start building a team. I want to be able to have at least 5 new hires every week.
Okay. What else?
I'm really just focused on that, and then, building my following on Facebook and TikTok as of right now. That's pretty much the basics of everything. I definitely want to start waking up around 4 a.m. instead of 5 a.m. And I ride my bike for an hour and a half. And then I want to start also working out longer.
What else?
Eating healthier.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could keep going, but
go ahead, keep going.
I want to be making $20,000 a month off of Facebook in 6 months, and I want to be making $20,000 at least in my bank account every single month with life insurance, senior life.
Okay. What
So
else?
that's pretty much it.
Okay. I mean, that's some definitely some pretty good goals there. 10K a week in production, building a team, social media following, waking up at 4 a.m., biking about an hour and a half before work, eating healthier, and getting 20K in your bank account every month. So the reason why I wanted some example out there is because I want to share with everybody that if you want to be somebody in the next 6 months, you want to achieve any goal, right? But I like 6 months because 6 months puts a time on it, and it also gives you an opportunity and a chance to develop into the person that you need to become. Because the first thing that you have to do is, if you want all that stuff, you have to get brutally honest with yourself. What I've realized is that change requires change. And change is like bartering, right? You guys all know what bartering is. Like, I'm going to give you something and you're going to give me back something in return. Well, that's how change works, right? And you can't expect to change if you're not going to give anything up or make any change. It's not a one-way street, it's a two-way street, right? So the first thing that we have to do is get totally 1,000% honest with yourself. And I love the analogy of a mirror, because a mirror does not give you what you want. A mirror gives you who you are. And there's no hiding from it. And if you really, really want those few things that you just mentioned in the next 6 months, you need to get honest with yourself. You need to discipline yourself. We're going to go over these couple things real quick here. Trying to get to my next page here. Sorry. And a lot of this stuff, if you're not honest with the amount of activity that it's going to take to do these things and effort, you're never going to have a chance to win. You're never going to have a chance to get there. Writing $10,000 in a week. Well, let's ask somebody who did that this week. Shingai, what did this week look like for you? What did the last full 7 days look like for you? I want to know what time you started, what time you finish. Tell me what does $10,000 in a week look like?
Well, it is exactly 7 days. You're right about that. Friday.
So no days off?
No days off.
That means you work Sunday. Does that mean, right?
Oh, yeah.
Does Sunday count as a day of the week?
Yes, I always work Sunday the one Sunday I was in New York earlier this month, that was the only exception. But otherwise, that being on, family out of town. But otherwise, yes, every Sunday, always after church time, so I don't get anyone upset. I'm starting by normally 1 o'clock. That's pretty much a safe time to start on Sunday. Go till about 6 or 7. Don't go too late on a Sunday because people start getting upset. But otherwise, I'm by 10 a.m. working on the phone. I'm calling the leads I've either bought the night before on Leads the Way, or I'm on live transfers. If those are slow, I'm calling those leads that I've already purchased, even going back in time if I've gone through those. And working till last night. I left the office at 10 o'clock. I'm normally
So you worked from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. yesterday, basically.
Yeah, I got a late live transfer at 8 p.m. Couldn't get the lady to move, but or 8:30 or so. But yeah. And the night before, same thing. I left at about just before 10, but that one was a successful late live transfer. So in other words, until whenever, until
the job's
done for the day. Yeah. So normally from 10 till at least 8 or beyond. And then Saturdays I'll start about 11, 12, go till at least 7. So yeah, it is daily. It's definitely daily, and it's a full day, except for Sunday. I'd say it's a full day.
Right. And what does that full day look like for you? Well, here's what I've witnessed and noticed, because I've been in the office when Shingai is working, and what's kind of funny is when I was looking for a report I could peek at real quick, but I couldn't find it. But like typically when I go to somebody's office or an office gets a visitor, what do you think typically happens? Everybody stops what they're doing, right? Everyone comes, says hi. They want to talk a little bit. Shingai stays in her cubicle and works and makes me like try to keep checking on, are you off the phone yet? Can I say hi to Shingai yet? Here's my conversation with Shingai when I go to the office. Usually it's a quick little hug, maybe most likely a tap on the shoulder and a little silent, hey, because she's busy selling. She's on the phone. Am I right or wrong, Shingai?
You're right. Usually tapping me on the shoulder and I turn around to wave because I can't speak because I'm talking to a client.
Yeah, so I get a little silent, like a little thumbs up, a little wave, a big smile, and a little hey. Even though you're showing me some love, I'm still not going to introduce you to my sister, but maybe one day, like a little wave, no big deal.
Here we go.
But, I did see a banner for the what do you call it movie? I went to go see Maverick last night. By the way, side note, you got to go see that movie. Freaking amazing. It's like watching Rocky in the 80s. It's like I was telling my buddy, I said, listen, if I don't show up for work on Monday, I told Shiver this morning, I'm going to be in Navy pilot school because I was fired up. But awesome movie. But I saw the Black Panther little banner coming in 2023. Thought of you. But what's kind of neat. So there's a few measurements throughout a day that are extremely important, and this is how you can measure your success. Especially, I'd say that probably there's 27 people on this call right now that most of you are telesales, and it could be translated into field sales just as easily. But the first thing is, did I write enough production? So if you want to write $10,000 of production in a week and you're working 7 days a week, you're going to have to write, I don't know exactly what it is, but probably about $1,100 or $1,200 in AP a day, right? Does that sound about right, Shingai?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A day. So that's my goal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my goal $2,000 a day. Right. So if I hit that $2,000 of AP a day, I'm good. I'm not going to look at any other measurements because I don't care. Because I got my goal. I got the amount of production. Actually, I got more than what I needed for the day. Now, that does not mean that I'm going to stop once I hit 2,000. I'm saying when the day's over, I'm looking back in on my day because, like I said, I got to get honest with myself if I gave myself a chance to win. So first goal is that production goal. And if you hit that production goal, at least when I was producing, I never really looked at anything else because, again, it didn't really matter. But if I didn't, my next goal, what do you think the next measurement that I would look at is? I didn't hit my production goal. What is the next measurement that I'm going to look at to see if I did what I was supposed to do today?
How much time you put in?
Presentations.
That sounded like all one big word. So I don't know. Someone try to talk again.
I said number of presentations.
Yes, kind of. Number of presentations, yes. But when I'm selling on the phone, connected hours of talk time, which is basically number of presentations, same concept. And my goal every day was 4 to 5 hours of connected talk time. That means I'm conversing. Like what we're doing right now is connected talk time. Now, back then when I was selling, I had a phone system that kept track of that for me, but I didn't always. In the beginning, I had a stopwatch. And every time I would start a conversation with somebody, I'd click go. And when I hung up the phone, I hit stop. And I did that every single time I picked up the phone because I knew that in order for me to have a chance of writing $2,000 worth of annualized production, I got to be on the phone talking to people. And that measurement for me, and that measurement that the company has set the standard through all of our research, is 4 to 5 hours of connected talk time. And what you need to be doing, I don't care who you are, and I'm just picking on Shingai this week because she was the #1 rider over 10K. I mean, there's not much of a better week that you can get from that. I don't even care if you're Shingai, you should be timing yourself every single day. Because what I found, and it was also reconfirmed, and I realized this before this book, the 10X rule, even came out, which Grant Cardone says is that the biggest reason why people fail is because they highly underestimate the amount of effort that it's going to take to win. Like, so if your goal is 10K, whatever you think that you got to do to get to 10K is not even close. And that's the big reason why people fails, because we underestimate it. And I say that because back when I was producing, one time I was at the home office, our regional vice presidents, that used to be, I mean, the title, I still have it, I guess, for the eyes of the home office. There's, I think, only about 11 of us left that are, you know, true, direct regional vice presidents with the company. And we had regional vice president meetings. And back in 2015, 2014, you know, you think, oh man, they probably wine yous and dine yous, and they did, but our meetings consisted of get your tail on the phone at 9 a.m. and don't get off of it till 9 p.m. And we'd all go to the home office and we'd be stuck in a call center selling all day. And I'll never forget this one time, and we had a contest for most production, for most talk time, and most dials for the day. And dude, I felt like I was talking to so many people all day long that my talk time was going to be through the roof. I won today, no problem. I was even worried about the amount of annualized production that I wrote for the day, because I was just so focused on my talk time that I knew that if I had enough talk time, that everything else would be okay. Well, come lunchtime, we all got emailed a report. And guess where my talk time was? Not even close to what I thought I was at. All right, Doug, well, you got to kick it in the high gear, man. You must have, you know, didn't estimate everything properly. Whatever, you miscount. You know, I wasn't good at math. So I busted my butt for the rest of the day. I'm like, I got to have it now. The minimum that we wanted to get was 4 hours. I was very confident that I was well over 6 hours that day. I got the report at the end of the day, and I was less than 4 hours. I was 3 hours and 45 minutes of connected talk time. And I thought that I was killing it that day. And then when Grant Cardone's the 10X rule came out and I read it, I said, yeah, homeboy's right. You know, we have a way of thinking that we're doing a lot of things, but the numbers don't lie. So you got to keep track of these things, because I guarantee you that if the talk time is there, that you have a chance. Now, I'm a realist, so I do know too that sometimes we just can't get people on the phone or keep them on the phone those days. You guys ever been there where no one's answering the phones, and the ones that do hang up on you very quickly? You guys that ever happened to you? Anybody? Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes.
Shingai, that ever happened? Yeah, everybody? Are those fun days or no? They're not fun days, but it happens. So my goal on days like those, because again, my first goal is production. My second goal is talk time, or measurement, I should say. My third and last measurement, if the production wasn't there and the talk time connected wasn't there, what do you think my next measurement is? Dials. You guys all sitting down, you ready for this number? Because if it's anything less than this, you're not giving yourself a chance. 250 a day. You know, and I always like to break down these numbers. So let's just say if you worked, I'll just give you 8 hours, which you should be working more. And out of those 8 hours, you took an hour for lunch. So now we're down to 7. Let's say it was one of those rough days, right? And you only had 2 hours of connected talk time. So now we're down to 5 hours. right? So we got 5 hours of dialing. 5 hours of dialing. 5 times 60 for 60 minutes in each dial is 300 dials. It does not take more than a minute to call somebody and leave a quick voicemail if they don't answer. And let's just say they do. You see where I get my 250 from? I want to make sure that I'm working. Because here's what I do know. If I dial 250 people every single day and my talk time is on par, 4 to 6 hours, that AP, guys, no problem. It's done. 9 days out of 10, I'm going to exceed my production goal if I'm talking on the phone with enough people long enough.
Yeah.
It's a mathematical equation. It works. You do anything less, you will not reach your goal. You won't. So again, if you want to write that 10K, if you want to be like Shingai, if you want everyone to start calling you queen or king, you need to get in that production. You need to get in that activity. You need to get brutally honest with yourself and stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to your mentor and others that you're working to your max capability when you're really not. One of the things, a big key takeaway that I got last night from that movie, The Maverick, which was the sequel to Top Gun, there's a part where Tom Cruise tells, I forget the actor's name, but the other guy to stop thinking and just doing. Stop thinking and just do. If you guys see that movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you did it, you'll understand it when you watch it. You know, so often we get caught up in trying to figure everything out and trying to make sense of things that we almost talk ourselves out of it at a certain point. There's not a successful person here at Senior Life Insurance Company that, you know, that doesn't do what we preach every single day. Meaning we're all doing the same thing. The ones that are not successful are the ones that are not doing what everybody else is doing every single day. So stop trying to, we already figured it out for you. I already failed my entire life to get to where the point that I'm at right now, to be able to provide you guys with the blueprint in order to become successful. So stop trying to figure it out. Stop trying to make sense of it. Stop trying to put your own spin on it. Stop trying to talk yourself that there's a better way of doing it, because there isn't. Folks, this works, and the ones that take advantage of it and the ones that follow it every single day are the ones that are successful, and the ones that aren't are the ones that aren't. I know grammatically that doesn't really make much sense, but you know exactly, you know what I'm talking about. And in order to give yourselves the amount of time that you need to achieve these goals, you have to define in your life what's important and what's unimportant. You have to inventory your time. Time is the most precious asset that we have. It's not money, it's not gold, it's time. Once it's spent, you can never get it back. It doesn't make a difference how much money that you have, you cannot slow down the hands of time. But the coolest thing in the world is you get the exact same 24 hours in every single day that Shingai gets, that I get, that everybody, you know, we all get the same 24 hours in every single day. And you can make time for everything. You know, and I like this little kind of neat exercise when it talks about, you know, making time every day. There's 24 hours in every day. And I love that Rob was talking about waking up at 4 a.m. Because in my humble opinion, you only need about 6 hours of sleep to operate fully on. Any more than that is just too much. Any less than that, maybe you're just a little bit off. So that leaves you with 18 hours to kill it. You know, you could take out an hour or two, let's call it 2 hours for eating. We're down to 16 hours. That's 2 shifts of work almost. You want to hang out with your kids for 2 hours, we're down to 14 hours. You want to take 10 hours and work, we still got 4 hours left. So again, but if you prioritize your time for what's important and you inventory that time for what's important and what's unimportant, you are able to make time for everything, because the stuff that's not important are the things that you want to avoid. Anything that brings you away from, Rob, writing 10,000 in a week, building a team, increasing your social media following, waking up at 4 a.m., biking an hour and a half, eating healthier, and depositing $20,000 in your bank account every single month. Anything that will pull you away from that, you need to cut it off right away. I'm not saying you can't have fun. You can have a lot of fun. In fact, if you work 10 hours a day, you sleep 6 hours a day, you hang out with your family for 4 hours a day, eat for 2 hours, you still got 4 hours to goof off. That's a lot of hours, you know? Stop Netflixing and chilling and start making a difference, because guess what, guys? As far as I know, you only live once. We only get one crack at this thing called life. And by God, I'm going to make sure that I leave my mark. Guys, you all deserve to be successful, each and every single one of you. Your families deserve it. Stop having a broken and weak mindset and just do what Tom Cruise said in that movie was, don't think, just do. Just do it. Nike says it. Everything, just do it. It's all around us. And if we can watch every motivational movie, read every motivational book, every success story in the world, and guess what? They all have the exact same message. Work as hard as you possibly can. Do whatever it takes. You know, just reminded me of a story that I just heard the other day. It was told by the guy, the Navy SEAL that was part of the training that killed Osama bin Laden. Can't think of the guy's name. It escapes me right now. Rob or Ron something, but he's talking about one of his friends. And, you know, in SEAL training, you know, probably one of the most difficult things to do in this planet is to become a Navy SEAL, right? So there's this one test where they got this rope tied from one end of the pool of Olympic-sized swimming pool to the other end of the pool, right? And one of their jobs is to go down underwater and tie knots. Certain kind of knots, like a square knot or whatever kind of knot that these like in the Navy, you tie a lot of knots. That's what boaters and people like that do. They tie a lot of knots, like a lot. And this particular test, you only had so many times where if you fail, like they'll let you come back and try again. But after a certain amount of attempts, that's it, you're done. They're not going to allow you to try again. And this one particular SEAL, which was this guy's friend, was on his last attempt. And it's kind of funny. He was saying how these tests, you go down, you go underwater, like no oxygen, you just holding your breath. And you go underwater and they ask you to tie a knot. And it's funny how the first time you tie the knot, it's always wrong. And so the instructor would go look at that knot, shake his head, it's wrong. He'd go up, catch a breath, while you're down there trying it again. Okay, you're good. Come on up. You get a little tiny breath and they send you back down. And there's 5 different knots that you got to tie. And this one guy was on his last attempt, meaning his lifelong dream that he's been working for his entire life was to become a Navy SEAL. And this was his final attempt. If he failed this test, he was not going to become a Navy SEAL. So no pressure, right? So he goes down for that final breath, for that final knot, and he attempts to tie it, and he drowns. And he drowns. And the instructor comes on, and they pull him out of the water. He calls for the medics, but he realizes that, because they don't want to kill him. They just want you to think that they're going to kill him, right? They want to instill all that fear in you, So they call the medics over. He realizes that they're a little too far away. So he starts working on the guy and, rubbing his sternum and doing CPR. And the guy's out for a minute and a half until he finally spits up the water and wakes up. And the first thing that he says when he opens up his eyes is, "Did I pass?" And the guy says, yeah, you passed. And he says, "Man, I can't believe." So I finally got the 5th knot. He goes, "Son, you didn't get that 5th knot, but I'm in a good mood today, so I'm going to let you in on a little secret. This test is not about tying knots. It's about seeing how far you'll push yourself. And you killed yourself, so you won. You passed because you killed yourself." And it's just a really neat story of doing, whatever it takes, folks. We can push ourselves to the breaking point. We always have a little bit more than what you think. But in that instance, he did whatever it took because that was his goal and that was his dream. He was willing to die for it, literally. Now, thank God we're not swimming in the pool with no oxygen and we don't have to worry about drowning. But folks, you got to be willing to die for your dreams, to die for your goals. Eric Thomas says, if you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And if you really think about that, is your everyday activity in line with what your goals are? Are you one of those guys that has $1 million dreams with a minimum wage work ethic? If I can see why Shingai is so successful. If I had a drone camera or something following her around every day, you would see exactly why she's successful. And some others that maybe are not successful and the camera was following you every day, what would that show look like? Are you grinding? Are you doing everything that you should be doing to get you closer to those goals? Are you being brutally honest with yourself? Or are you doing this? And Netflixing or whatever the case may be. What are we doing? Here's what I can guarantee you, and I'm a living example of it, is the first couple of years, it's going to be difficult. That I can promise you. But if you can get through it, everything will be, you will have such abundance of everything, you will not believe yourself. Folks, I don't know a lot about a lot of things, but what I do know is this business works. I started with Senior Life in 2013, 9 years ago, next month, $0 in my bank account, 0 people with me, with only a dream, and hopes to one day have similar dreams to what Rob had said, and a lot of dreams that you all have, but I consistently chipped away at them. And this year, I will deposit over $1 million into my bank account. It took me 9 years to get to that point of fighting and scratching and crawling and clawing my way to the top. And every single one of you, at one point, folks, guess what? I sat in the exact same chair that you're sitting in right now. And every single one of you has an opportunity to farly exceed what I've been able to achieve in this business. As long as you're willing to consistently not stop and keep doing whatever it takes to put those blinders on and don't think about anything other than those 3 measurements, which are basically activity. You focus on activity, folks, and everything else will be just fine. So I hope this morning kind of helped you guys maybe shed some light on some things. But does anybody have, maybe I'll just let you guys ask me a question or two and we'll wrap up. And let you guys get on to, because I know Shingai wants to go write some business. So you guys have any questions for me? That's it. So what I've learned is when I do calls and speeches and stuff like that, that silence either says that I did a really, really good job or a really, really bad job. So hopefully I did a really, really good job for you guys. So I really hope that you enjoyed today. I hope you get a little bit out today, just a little something, but work hard. Hard work pays off, and talent hard work will beat talent any day of the week if you work hard enough, guys. I promise you that. Have a great weekend. And if you need me, you know how to reach me. And I'll see you guys right back here on Monday.